Mother, tell us a story.
A story about what?
About us. Our story.
It's all about black love, black crime, blacks love, blacks shine, blacks cry, blacks march, the black story torn all apart, told to us through slavery, just 10 black leaders so we can see a partial truth, their perspective, the whole black story stays so neglected, untold, unrung, untoyed, unsung, black hoops, black loops, black troops, black groups, black salute, black stars, black cars, black jokes, black votes, black hope, black's dope.
This is the story of our lives. This is our story. This is the story of our lives. This is our story. This is the story of our lives. This is our story. This is our story. This is our story.
It's all about black truth, black youth, black cause, black flaws, black tours, black laws, black power, blacks cower, black change, black's pain, black pride, black lives, black panther, black answers, black rivals, black survival, blacks thrive, blacks rise, black fame, blacks change, black solution,
Evolution,
black family,
solidarity,
blacks reign,
off the chain.
black trust, black lies, black unity, black scrutiny, black glory, our story. It's all about you and me and you, and how we see our story true to us, not through another's eyes. It's ours. We have to stand and rise. Come good. You and me and you, and how we see our story true to us, not through another's eyes. It's ours. We have to stand and rise. Black behavior, black saviors, black movements, black improvement, black omission, black tradition, black community, black beauty, black friends, black foes, black trends, black froze, black names, black's gain, black skin, black kin, black college, black knowledge, black humility, black civility, black poverty, black sovereignty, black creation, black civilization, black solution,
Evolution,
black family,
solidarity,
black's reign,
off the chain.
black glory, our story.
This is the story of our lives. This is our story. This is the story of our lives. This is our story. This is the story of our lives. This is our story. This is our story. This is our story. This is the story of our lives. This is our story. This is the story of our lives. This is our story. This is the story of our lives. This is our story. This is our story. This is our story.
To be continued.
Peace and welcome to the Temple of Hip Hop. Of course, my voice is raspy because we're ripping these shows down crazy. Just last night at Venice West in Venice Beach, we was accompanied by Orange Star and Razor, two MCs, and DJ Indigenous, and Fredro Starr came through and did his thing as well. And Mad Lion, of course, was there. G Simone is always in the building. time, the rest of the Temple of Hip Hop. Everybody was there. It was a wonderful evening. Just last night, we finished up 2 shows. It was 2 times. And get this, y'all, because you got to have some faith in yourself. When we first booked these shows, I said to you that this is about the craft. This is about, after you do the arena dates and you do the big festivals, to keep your blade sharp, you got to go do these smaller venues. And when you do the smaller venues, yes, your voice may get hoarse or raspy at that time because we're outside, we're wet. You don't have the amenities that you would have in an arena. You drive in, everything, it's warm, there's security, you never interact with the audience. They come in from a whole different place. You come in from an entirely different place. It has its perks. That's what that is. But there's this other thing that accompanies the MC. And that is the alleyway with the back door that leads you into the club. Driving yourself, it rained the first night. The rain it had stopped raining by the time we got there, but it had rained all week, actually. Mudslides in California, the whole 9 yards, it was crazy. But dudes came out anyway. And this is what I mean about having faith in yourself. Matter of fact, I will take that water. This is what I mean about having faith in yourself, is that when we first booked these shows, I and the promoter did not know what it was going to be. And last time we came, it was good. It was filled here. This is like 4 years ago. It was okay. It was filled. It was good. We had a nice crowd. We ripped it. But this time, it was a little more excitement, and we sold out both shows. No one can tell what's going to sell out. You don't know. But, in a place that holds like 400 or 500 people, we sold out the actual venue. Now, of course, if you play for 10,000 people or 15,000 people, you should be able to sell out a 400-seater. But not really. Because the club still has to be a place that people want to come to. There had to be some kind of advertisement. And of course, your reputation as an artist has to go before you, and the people got to want to pay that ticket price. So it was a wonderful night last night. Big up to Venice West, Club Venice, Venice West. They got a bunch of names, but that's where it's at, there on Lincoln Boulevard. Hold on 1 minute. No, I'm not advertising Fiji, but that's some damn good water. So, today's lesson is about love. And as you can hear, like I said, my voice will get better as I use it. Those of you that remember the bios and stuff that, like the Temple of Hip Hop films and stuff, you'll notice I always say, my voice is raspy right now, but the more I use it, the better it gets. And then I add on and say, the soul operates in the same way. The more you use it, the better it gets. And this is a fitting beginning, an appropriate beginning for what we are reading today. We're talking about love. We're talking about love, and we're talking about the importance of love in your heart, love on your mind, love in your environment. Now, most people don't have a definition for love. Love is a feeling. If you look it up in the dictionary, it'll say that love is an emotion. And then when you look up emotion, it says emotion is a disturbance of the mind. Interesting. But when you say love, the technical term would equate to affection, compassion, care, even protection and provision, with the idea of caring for something or someone. When you love something, you give it your full attention. When you love something, when you love something, you care for it. These are the attributes of loving, showing love, or being loved. Look around your environment. Does anyone care for you? And who are the people that care for you? Who do you care for? Who are you willing to sacrifice your time, your being even? Who are you willing to sacrifice toward help, care, provide for, protect? These are all acts of love, acts of compassion. And I was going to say also, even mercy and forgiveness can come under love as well. A different principle or different principles, but a loving heart tends to be a forgiving heart as well. The ancients also talk about having a light heart. It's not just Kemetic knowledge that talks about that. All kinds of ancient texts talk about, in your older years, having a light heart, maintaining a light heart. And it's really more for your older years, because when you're younger, it's easy to have a light heart. But as you get older, people messing with you, maybe a theft or a robbery, a death, something, lies being told, you got to fight your way to somewhere. All of this begins to harden your heart. And you begin to distrust people. And you begin to, some people even not even like life. Because they say there's no one that I can trust, no one to love me or that I can love. No one understands me or me understand them even. There's that disconnect. I heard somewhere that more than 60% of the world is lonely. The world. Think about that. All the billions of people, the billions of people on the planet, 60% of them are lonely. How did that happen? How did that happen? Well, you can always point to technology. You can always point to the arrogance of people in their younger days. And when you're young and arrogant and don't heed the warnings of the elders, you become bitter when you get older because you didn't do what you were supposed to do when you were younger. And these are the lessons of life. These are the lessons of love, actually. Anybody who loves you will tell you the truth. Anybody who loves you wants to see you make it. So they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you what's right. These are acts of love. And so I start with this. We might as well just get right into the read today. As you guys know, this is the Temple of Hip Hop. We are a hip hop ministry, I should say a hip hop preservation ministry, archive, school, and society. We started in 1996 with the affirmation, I am hip hop. Rap is something we do. Hip hop is something we live. We are not just doing hip hop. We are hip hop. We produced this document here, The Gospel of Hip Hop, if you can see that, right? Gospel of Hip Hop. We produced this document here. It took us 14 years to write it, but it documents the character, the successful character of the hip hop lifestyle. We looked at ourselves from the very beginning. We interviewed all of ourselves. So I say I and others interviewed everyone else, the founders, just contributors, and not just artists. We're talking about everybody, executives, attorneys, manufacturers of CDs, and lay people, just regular dudes. Those of you may recall the census that we took in 1998. We put it on an album called I Got Next and asked everybody, what do you think hip hop is? What is your definition of hip hop? You know, what is your spirituality? What's the positive points about hip hop? What's the negative points? We asked this, got back about 80,000 responses. It's from these kinds of data gathering events or programs or strategies that we derive our knowledge from. And it's important that I make that distinction. For those that are listening to us first time right now, or you may have been listening, let me remind you that we are not just reading books to understand hip hop. We are hip hop. And so we document our life experience into books. This way, future generations can really hear and feel the spirit of original hip hop. This is what we are preserving. Not that anybody else is not original hip hop, because we commend everybody who has something to do with the preservation of this culture. As a matter of fact, we're here to help anybody, assist anybody, support, empower anyone who is working toward the preservation of original hip hop. And when I say original hip hop, that's breaking, MCing, graffiti writing, DJing, beatboxing, street fashion, street language, street knowledge, and street entrepreneurialism. These elements are what actually express what hip hop is doing in the real world. And it's this that we seek to preserve. So the Temple of Hip Hop is now located in Newark, New Jersey, Brick City, right over there, Newark, New Jersey, 55 Ludlow Street, Newark, New Jersey. You can go right over there. Right now we're hosting, like you guys should know, over the next 3 or 4 months, really up until Hip Hop Appreciation Week, which is May. We're gearing up for that right now with the theme of graffiti art. But from now to May, we are really hosting the neighborhood itself. Those of you may have heard me say this as well, that I keep the door open at the Temple of Hip Hop. We keep the door open for the neighborhood, for the young kids that want to come in and play basketball, or just have a safe place to go and chill, listen to some hip hop, music plays, this kind of thing. So the place is open for the city to have events and meetings, for young people to enjoy the gym. We got other things going on. There's classes and stuff getting ready to go on there, art classes, karate, kung fu classes. We got a boxing thing going. We got contemporary dance coming in as well. So these are the things that are happening right now. We're preparing, and some are actually happening right now as we speak. The repasses, funeral services are also being held at the Temple of Hip Hop. All of that is the activity of the actual building itself. I'm on tour. The founder is on tour. I'm running around trying to promote the idea that the Temple of Hip Hop exists as a ministry, archive, school, and society. You may want to try to get the word out yourself if you hear me. And get this, this is not about promoting the Temple of Hip Hop like we some record company or something. That's not what this is about. Please be clear. The Temple of Hip Hop is a ministry, an archive, a school, and a society. We preserve original hip hop. So you ain't got to tell everybody about us. You need to just tell the right people. Those professors that are teaching hip hop in wherever you're teaching it, come to the temple and get legitimate. Get credentials. Get the real knowledge. Because we applaud everyone who takes the initiative to teach hip hop. You got to support that. But at the same time, everybody with a freestyle approach to the teaching of hip hop is not going to help hip hop. Now, if we're serious about the preservation of hip hop, then we're going to have to all get organized. As teachers, we're going to have to get organized. One of which is, if you are a scholar of this. People throw those words around: hip hop scholar, hip hop professor, hip hop teacher. But if you are an actual scholar of the culture, scholar relates to school. You get it? Scholar, school. You have to be trained in a school by a master teacher for you to be called yourself a hip hop scholar or a master teacher yourself. These concepts are not just knowledge to be memorized, like you memorize this certain knowledge. That's not what this is about. This is, yes, you memorize certain knowledge, like spell hip hop with a capital H, the 3 natures of hip hop, the 9 elements of hip hop, a little bit of 1520 Sedgwick Avenue history, a little bit of history on Herc, Bam, and Flash. Can we get that? Sure, there's some memory that has to go down. But more importantly than the memorizing of facts is the passing on of the culture itself. See, you have to be the culture in order to teach a culture. This is not a can of soup. This is not a pair of pants. This is not even a book. This is not a material object. Hip-hop is not an object. Hip-hop is a subject. So when you're trying to teach something like that, your authority to teach that, your authority to teach a culture comes from the culture. So it has to be passed on. Yes, you have to learn and memorize certain facts, but more importantly, you have to, the culture has to be passed on to you. That means you have to have an experience. Now, we have set up both organic experiences and what we would call traditional experiences. Traditional experiences are where like if you take a Temple of Hip Hop course, we start you at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. Because if you're gonna claim to be a hip hop teacher, then you gotta start at the birthplace of hip hop. You're birthing yourself as a hip hop teacher. So you come and you hear KRS-One or others, Grandmaster Caz, Kumo D, AD from the Cold Crush. There's others that teach a mean course that you need to hear. But let's say we're talking about KRS, master teacher KRS-One. In fact, hip-hop's first teacher, first philosopher. So there's a little perk with that. Learning from this particular guy at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue is the impartation of the culture. It's the passing on. You have a story to tell. It's not just I have a certification, but my certification was handed to me by the master teacher KRS-One himself at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. That's a cultural certification. I went to 1520 and Grandmaster Caz certified me, blah, 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 I'm that. I have a story to tell. I've been given something by an originator. This is why we've set up the Temple of Hip Hop, not for us to dictate to others what hip hop is. That's not what it's about. What it's about is how do you become legitimate in the real world? Like right now, a lot of these titles of scholar, hip hop scholar, hip hop professor, hip hop teacher, all of these titles are titular. You look up that word, it's titular, meaning that it's not a real title. It's like we recognize you as this, but you're not the real title. It's like saying King of Rock, Run DMC. I'm the King of Rock. You know, like it's a titular title. Can there really be even a King of Rock in that sense? And others like a Queen Latifah. Is she the real queen? Is she a queen of something here? Now, of course, in hip-hop, she would be, no doubt, a real queen right there. And Run DMC, when they brought up Aerosmith, they became kings of rock, okay? But I'm just giving you 2 quick examples of titular titles versus the real title. And let me flip to that, because even though Run DMC started out with a titular title, I'm the king of rock, there is none higher. when they brought Aerosmith through. Now, Aerosmith are kings of rock, for real. That's not a titular title. But when they linked with Run DMC, and even their careers saw some light, some new breath, even in their career, Aerosmith's career, that's when Run DMC legitimately could have been called the kings of rock. In fact, as far as hip hop is concerned, they are the kings of rock and roll. And they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well. This is an interesting, just how a titular title can actually become more real. Queen Latifah, of course, when she started, she threw that name on her when she was in Brick City out in Newark, riding around with Naughty by Nature. She was Queen Latifah on the block, okay? But now, the same our sister, Dana, she's got Oscars and Golden Globes, and she a cover girl now for Maybelline. Like, if you only knew who this woman really is. But at the end of the day, we're proud of her, and we look and we see where she came from. Yes, now you can say Queen Latifah. And ain't nobody saying, I don't know. Nah, that title is not titular anymore. Well, the same thing with being a hip-hop teacher. From day one, I was teaching. It's not about a salary. It's all about reality. We talked about vegetarianism. I introduced the concepts of metaphysics. We talked about Black history. We talked about theology. All of this in rhyme. And then we were the first to go into the university system and teach hip-hop at the university level. This is all us at the beginning, at the very beginning, and we're the first to do it. So my title of hip-hop teacher is not titular. In 1995, Zulu Nation named me master teacher with an award ceremony and everything. And I take that title seriously. I've been teaching ever since, as you guys know. We're teaching right now. This is what we do up until this very moment right here. So those that want to teach hip-hop, you have to get accredited by hip-hop's first teachers, because hip-hop is a culture. So it is the culture, the experience that has to be passed on to you. You have to be ordained to teach hip-hop, not just certified or accredited. So I say this to say as a long answer why the Temple of Hip-Hop exists, or one of the reasons why it exists. As a school, the Temple of Hip-Hop is the only authentic hip-hop school in existence. Others may say that they are a school, but they are not, and I say this respectfully, not that they are not anything. Like I said, anybody teaching hip-hop, we support that. But we have to get with the facts. Like, as teachers, we can't play games with what hip-hop is and who hip-hop is. You know, everyone knows that KRS-One is hip-hop's first teacher. So if you're going to call yourself a hip-hop teacher, why do you not have the certification of hip-hop's first teacher? Well, part of the reason is because I didn't give none out. For 35 years, I myself was getting a curriculum together, organizing the Temple of Hip-Hop, putting books like this together, getting information, putting films together so that we can teach. Only now in the 50th year of hip-hop, I mean, now we're in year 51 in that sense, but only now at the 50th did we accumulate over 50 years worth of knowledge. And so now we have something to teach. Before, yes, you could teach hip-hop. There was much to teach in terms of hip-hop's elements, its history, certain stories and folklore, all this type of stuff. Yes, that was taught over a 30, 40-year period. And not just by me, by everybody. Or anyone who engaged this type of profession. But only now, at the 50th year, did we all also grow up. And there was a lot of immaturity going on over these 50 years as well. Brothers not talking to each other, groups breaking up, some of us even dying before we could even tell our story. So now, after 50 years, now we are ready. We looked at some of the books that came out. We're going to look at some of the other dissertations. You know how many hip-hop dissertations, for PhDs and stuff? How many reports have been written in college? In the college, there must be thousands of dissertations on hip-hop. Where are they archived at? Where can you go as a hip-hop scholar and really be part of an authentic hip-hop teaching database? When you're born into hip-hop, who gives you your birth certificate? When you die in hip-hop, who gives you your death certificate? When you marry or adopt your partner in hip-hop, who issues the certification of adoption or marriage? This is the work of a temple building a culture. So let's make the distinction clear, like what this is and who we are and why it's happening. The Temple of Hip Hop is that organizing body for hip hop as culture. That's what we've been doing, especially the last 24 years, but for the last 35 years. Last 30 years, this is what we've been doing. So if you're here with the Temple of Hip Hop, this is the work that we are continuing. We can see a hip hop city. We call it Hip-Hopia. We can see Hip-Hopia as we see Chinatown or Little Italy or Little Armenia or Little Caribbean. In every section of a major city, they celebrate cultures in certain sections of the city. Well, why we can't celebrate hip-hop in a section of your city? Give us the most dilapidated area of your city and let us begin to bring investment, renovation, education into that area. Name it a hip-hop city. DOS Effects Boulevard, Cindy Lane, Hurt Road. This is what we foresee that. And the Temple of Hip Hop is working on that vision. To get to that vision, you got to have a certain character. This is not about money. Yes, things cost money. We know this. But our temple at 55 Ludlow Street proves that respect will outlast cash. That respect and honor can get you what you want for free. I tried to explain this on many records and so on, but of course, as teacher, I got to practice what I preach, even if others don't. So here you see the results. You're seeing the result of what it is that we're learning. You're seeing the result of what it is that I'm teaching. Don't take it for granted. So today it's about love. Today it's about love. And you got to have love in your heart because it's healthy. If you want to remain healthy, keep a loving heart. Keep a loving heart. Learn how to love people. And I got to say, learn how. Because some people out here, okay? But as a minister, as a teacher, as a custodian of a culture, as a culture keeper, you're going to be meeting all kinds of people. And some people you're not going to agree with, you're not going to like. But if you lead with love, get this, you can be compassionate to people you don't even like. People doing all type of stupidity, immoral acts, straight evil sometimes. You don't have to join in on that, nor do you have to agree with it. But you can't become hateful because of it. Somebody do you wrong. You can't become bitter. Look at the challenge. Somebody stole something from you. You know the person's right there. They stole it from you. Can you still keep love on your heart for the person that stole from you? This is high-level spirituality. So if you can't get there, we understand. Somebody steals from you, you going after your stuff. with an attitude, with anger, because you're right, that's justified. But if you want to rise to higher levels of existence and being, then you're going to have to exist on a higher level of existence and being, and you're going to have to do it for real. And the way you get those real moments is when real moments come through. You can't just read, like I said, this is not just reading a book and adopting the knowledge and saying, okay, I understand now. I should be grateful for the little that I do have. I should forgive more. I should be merciful. I should be loving and compassionate. Oh, I get it now. But these things have to be learned. Now, some of us do it with our own, some of us do it naturally. We're naturally loving beings, but most are not. And I may be talking to somebody right now that feel a little bitter. What's the acronym for bitter?
Battling issues trying to end resentment.
Say that a little louder, Simone, please.
Battling issues trying to end resentment.
Battling issues trying to end resentment. Write that down. Bitter. Battling issues trying to end resentment.
And the second part is better I try to end resentment.
And so the cure.
Right. Hallelujah.
Better I try to end resentment. Come on, write that down. This is the opposite of love. Bitterness. And look how hard bitterness is. Because you're justified in your bitterness. You are justified. This is if somebody step on your toe, it's gonna hurt. And it's just for you to scream out, ow, you're on my toe. That is justified. But guess what? Some people get their toe stepped on, they don't say a word. Some people endure their pain silently. Some people forgive instantly when the pain comes. Oh, I stepped on your foot. They don't even get a chance to say, ow. The person steps on the foot, and maybe the person stepping on the foot says, oh, excuse me, sorry about that. The person says, no problem, sorry. Yeah, let's just keep it moving. Sure, it hurt, but the apology kind of took the hurt away, and you kind of responded in a different way because of the way it was going down. Don't just think of love as an emotion that you give to someone or something. It's that. We're going to read about that. But love is also a protection. It's a protection against becoming something that can harm you in the future. When I was growing up, yeah, I'm still growing up. I should say when I was younger. When I was younger, more like 12 and 13, I used to read in certain books, even it may have been Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, it may have been that. But I read in several books that love is healthy while hate is diseased. We're going to read about that too in the gospel. Love is healthy, hate is diseased. All of those people that hate and so on, they live horrible lives. Some hate because they're living horrible lives. It's like a vicious circle. Those that love, no matter what's going on in their life, they live wonderful lives. Because love takes care of those that love. And hate will take care of those that hate. You hating? Then hate is going to be your guiding force. Hate is going to be your protector. Hate is going to be your character. But the trade-off for hate is you may get a momentary victory with hate, with being inconsiderate, with being merciless, unforgiving, angry. You may get a momentary advantage with that. But underline the word momentary. those of us that have lived long enough to see the cycle a few times, all them people that were hating in the 90s, they are nowhere today. I say that humbly, without judgment, with teaching. Dudes was hating it, and I mean everybody, anybody. And there's stories. Some of y'all even know the stories. Somebody you knew back in the 90s always had an attitude, always hating, always dissing other people, always got a problem. Where they at now? A lot of them ain't even alive. Hate only brings hate. Why do you want hate in your life? Why do you want anger in your life? Why do you want bitterness in your life? Why do you want conflict in your life? These things are against success, which leads to my second point on this love before we start reading. Success is based on love. And let me say this. Success is based on the right answer, having the right answer. We talked about this a few weeks ago. If you have, this is logic, okay? This is straight logic. Wrong answer is failure. Right answer is success. That's it. You ain't got to pray, meditate, get into a yoga position, read a book, visualize, chant, whatever. You ain't got to do none of that. Just get the right answer. We seek in everything. I want to seek God. I'm looking for myself. I'm looking for this. Why don't you look for the right answer? What exactly is the right answer? Because once you got that, you got success. Now, wrong answers, that's why people ain't got nothing today. That's why they broke, poor, and bitter. And bitter. Because you're constantly giving off wrong answers. Why are you giving off wrong answers? Because you don't want to listen to the right answer. Why you don't want to listen to the right answer? Because it doesn't match your character. Why doesn't it match your character? Because you're not cut out for what is called divinity. Now we start getting sad. What do you mean, Chris? Not cut out. Everyone is God's children. We don't believe that. No, we have empirical data that some of us are divine and others of us envy those that are divine. If you are divine, show it. Prove it. Not with a cloud in the sky or making it rain or this, that, and the other. No, prove it by being a father to your child. Prove it by being a mother to your child. Take care of the elderly. Why don't you feed somebody? Why don't you be an answered prayer? These are the acts of divinity. Coming to the rescue when all material, all worldly solutions have failed. And now you cry out, God, help me. And it's you that shows up. These are acts of divinity, acts of selflessness. What is the cross? A constant reminder of self-sacrifice. Do you see Jesus on the cross? Do you see him? Put him in your mind, Jesus on the cross. What is that? What is the cross? A constant reminder of self-sacrifice. Can you sacrifice yourself for somebody else? Are you even willing to do that? See, only the divine who throws their life down and picks it back up again, only they can do that. Others who are not divine can't do that. See, others will tell you, everybody got a soul, and everybody, God loves everybody, and everybody has access to heaven, and everybody. We now know that that's not true. That's not true. Theoretically, God may love everyone. Theoretically. God may love everyone. Because I say theoretically because the only way we're going to find out is by asking God. Do you love everybody? Now, until that answer comes directly from God, we're all speculating. People love to talk for God without God speaking for God's self. People love to say, God said this, God said that. God don't agree with none of us. I mean, if you really, really think about it, how can an infinite mind, how can God, the omnipotent, the omniscient, the all, how can that mind agree with us? No, that mind is tolerant of us, forgiving of us, understanding of us, loves us. But agree with? I'm sure God is hard at work trying to figure out why these people are so goddamn stupid. Like something as simple as love, we struggle with that. We struggle with love, got bitterness and hate in our heart, and then we want to talk on behalf of God. Say, God said this, and God said that, and you hating. You go into yoga class, twisting your body up in all type of positions, saying you spiritual, and the minute you leave that yoga class and get in the car, you cutting off dudes and running the red light and can't do the speed limit and got no love for the other people around you. What is that? Holy on Sunday, demon on Monday. Go to church, go to mosque, go to synagogue on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, you could fire a man who you know has a family from his job. You the boss. You go to church, you go to your place of worship. Every time the worship is there. But you know, you covered up that crime the other day. You a police officer, you claiming you praise Jesus, and you a police officer, and you know you work for a corrupt organization. No disrespect, but you know there's problems there. How does your Jesus affect that? You're not responsible for all of the police department. We know this. But you as an individual police officer, how does your spirituality affect your work? Or does the work come first and the spirituality come second? I'll get to God right after I do this shift. Well, this is what we're talking about today here at the Temple of Hip Hop. We don't play games with God or spirituality. We have no time for it. Our people are struggling every day. But what is a struggle? A situation that reminds us God's grace and goodness lasts eternally. You want to write that down? Let me say it again. What is a struggle? A situation that reminds us God's grace lasts eternally. This is the mind of divinity. This is the mind of love. Someone or something that cares for something else. Can you care? Do you care? That care that you may have in your character, that's God. That's the divinity right there. If you ain't got no care in your heart, how can you say you have God on your heart or in your heart? Or if you got no love in your heart, how can you say you have God? And the less you love is your diminishment or your distance from God. How could you live like this? That's why everybody's alone. That's why everybody feels lonely. Because if you knew God, you could never be lonely. Think about that. If you seriously acknowledge the presence of God, how can you be lonely? You're always with somebody. If you acknowledge the presence of your ancestors, you would never be lonely. There's always someone there. But you are literally blind. Literally blind. Why? Because you just don't believe in none of this. I don't believe in no ancestors, no spirits, and no forces, God, and all this stuff. I ain't into that. Well, now that's why you lonely. I ain't no Christian. I ain't no Muslim. I ain't no Jew. I ain't no Hindu. Well, that's why you lonely. What group have you devoted yourself to? Nah, I do it by myself. I'm by myself. I'm just me. I'm just by myself. I do things by myself. I'm by me and my phone. It's the phone. That's what I spend all my time on. The phone. That's why you lonely. I say this non-judgmentally. I'm saying this rationally, logically, truthfully. How can you be lonely in a world full of people? Easy. You're not engaging them. You don't know how to talk to strangers. You don't know how to express yourself. Why? Because the phone is now doing it for you. The phone got you in an algorithm. And so now everything you see, whatever your last button press, that's what they're going to give you more of. And you so stupid, you going along with it. I got to laugh because it's one thing to not know the game and get caught up in the game. It's another thing to know the game and still get caught up in it. Dr. Wayne Dyer has a famous lecture, and I should find it, where he talks about this hole. He broke this so stupidly. This was crazy. He said, it's a hole. He said, here's life for you. You're walking down the street, and there's this hole. And you don't see the hole. You walk, you fall in the hole. Boom! Like, oh, I didn't even see this hole. You managed to climb out this hole. Took you a week to get out the hole. You climb out the hole. It's like, wow. So you go back. Now you walk in the same path again. You walk in, boom, right back in the hole. You forgot that you fell in the hole. Now you fell in the hole twice. Another week. Now you got to come out the hole. You walk in again. Now I know there's a hole there. I'm going to walk around the hole. Nope. Bam! You walk right in the hole. Why? Because you're doing the same thing every time. And get this, first time you didn't know there was a hole, you fell in it. Second time, you forgot there was a hole, fell in it. Third time, you know it's a hole, but you still gonna fall in it. And then get this, at the end, you actually crawl into the hole. Like, when are you going to come out of that mentality and start walking around for yourself, knowing where the pitfalls of life are, where the potholes are? When are you going to start walking like an adult? So this is what spirituality is really all about, not praising a book or some messiah from some prophet or whatever it is. No, if all of those prophets and messiahs and any of these teachers, sages, if any of them came to you right now, they would sound exactly how I sound right now. They would go to their congregation and say, what the hell are you doing? This is not what I taught. This is not the intent. What are you doing? Just like hip hop. That's how I know. That's how I know. We're the spiritual teachers when it comes to hip hop. And we ask our own culture, what the hell are you doing? You know this ain't hip. You know what you doing ain't hip hop. But you're going to do it anyway. What are you doing? If you know hip hop is breaking MCing, graffiti art, DJ. If you know that, why are we doing something else? And why are you participating in that something else? This is issues of character. And come back to the word love. Do you love hip hop? Do you love hip hop? Do you care for it? Is it on your mind? Is it something that can you forgive hip hop? This is love. Do you care about it? You know, provide for it, protect it. What about add to it? All of this is love, compassion. Do you love hip hop? Well, for those of us that do, we got this gospel right here. And 2 times in the gospel of hip hop, we discuss love. Love is very important to the manifestation of culture and to its further development, especially hip hop's culture. You'll notice from Zulu Nation, we get peace, love, unity, and having fun. Let me say it again. Peace, love, unity, and having fun. That's where we begin with hip hop, right there. What are the first principles? Peace, love, unity, and safely having fun. This is where we at with it. This is what happened. This is the truth. These are the facts. This is the history. Why are we doing something else? We start right here. Peace, love, 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 unity, and safely having fun. From there, we develop why do you need peace, love, unity? Because we are looking for the enhancement of health, again, love, awareness, and wealth. Zulu Nation preaches peace, love, unity, and safely having fun. The Temple of Hip Hop preaches health, love, awareness, and wealth. We call health, love, awareness, and wealth the H law. It's the only law we have. This is the foundation of all law. Health, the protection and enhancement of health, love, awareness, and wealth. Now, all law does not consider love a law, especially militarized governments, colonists, imperialists. Things like peace and love are not laws. But in our indigenous cultures, before slavery, before invasion, before capitalism, these were laws in our community. Peace was a law. You had to do that. Imagine, okay, charity was a law. You had to do that. Somebody came over to your house, you offered bread. It was a law, not just a custom. That's what they call it today, a custom. It was the tradition of the ancient Africans. No, this was a known law to keep our community together. Take care of all the kids in the neighborhood if you are of a certain age. Teach all the kids in the neighborhood if you are of a certain age. These are laws. We're bringing it back in hip hop. Health should be a law. Health care should be provided to all human beings. We can't live without proper health, so why are we paying for it? Why do we have to pay to live and life is free? So the law is all health care should be free. You should be able to just walk into a doctor and get yourself together. No matter what your ailment is, there should be doctors that are well paid to get that done. And you say, well, how does that supposed to happen, Chris? Well, that's the job for the economists. That's the job for the sociologists. That's the job for hundreds. There's people out here that study this and are failing in their position. not excellent at social engineering, not excellent at economics and banking, not excellent at education or even science or religion. All of these institutions, their leadership has failed, and nobody wants to say nothing because, well, for whatever reason, nobody just want to say nothing. But we could see the result. Health should be free to everybody. Health care. Shouldn't have to pay for that. We should work that out in our society. But then there's love again. Then there's love again. As a law, we should be loving one another. We should be compassionate to one another as law. Look at this. Health, love, awareness, and wealth. Awareness as law. Wealth as law. Poverty should be outlawed. Paying for health should be outlawed. Hate of any kind should be outlawed. Ignorance should not exist. Look at this. Health, love, awareness, wealth eradicates sickness, hatred, ignorance, and poverty. This is what hip-hop needs. Others may need other things, but hip-hop needs a complete removal of sickness, hatred, ignorance, and poverty, and we need to start within our own communities. Start eating a little more healthy. Drink that water, y'all. Come off that salt and that sugar. You know what it is. Get a little more healthy. Walk a little more. This is the law. Follow the law, and you live. Love. Keep the hate off your heart. Love. Don't be bitter. Love. Learn to forgive. Learn to walk with a light heart. Be disattached as well. Don't try to attach yourself to people and to things. It's harder to let go. It's where bitterness and resentment comes from. Can't let go. Love. Now, of course, awareness and wealth are what they are. We're not discussing them today, but you can see the importance of awareness or education as law, and wealth, not just money, but well-being as law. So come on now, let's start this read. I am on page, what I want to do first, for those of you that may teach this part of the lesson, let me walk you through this real quick. There are two sections in the Gospel of Hip Hop that speak of love. One section is on page 227. Let me turn to that real quick. Page 227, you can go to it now. Page 227, and this is a description of love itself. Of love itself. I'm going to read a little bit of this, and then we're going to go to our read today, which is love, which is perform love, which is on page 168. Page 168. To perform love. Love as a character. So first, let's read a little bit, only a couple of paragraphs of 227. Page 227, we're reading from the H law. We're reading the second law of the H law, which is love. Look at this. This is a description of what love is. Know this. Love is the essence of one's being. Now get these words. They're not just words. Love is a feeling. You have to find these words in yourself. Love is the essence of one's being. It is a very real, motivating, healing, nurturing force. It is you. One's feelings of love, or one's feeling of love, is the actual existence of one's non-physical being. Your spirit, your soul is love. To love is to care, to protect, to heal, and to nurture. To love is to surrender or transfer one's being towards someone or something. Did you hear that? Love is the essence of one's being, one's caring being. The act of loving is an act of self-enlargement. It is an act of spiritual growth. To love is to extend one's being, to enlarge the essence of oneself, to include the survival and comfort of oneself and others. When hip-hoppers express love, we are transferring the essence of our being to the person, place, thing, or event we are in love with. To be in love means that you have made a conscious decision to share or transfer the essence of your being to them. However, to love something or someone other than yourself more than you love yourself will eventually lead to your weakness. For when you love someone, it is very important that they love you back. If you are not receiving the love you are giving, such an unbalanced relationship will eventually lead to your suffering. In fact, most people suffer in their relationships because they usually love people who do not truly love them back. However, when one loves others on behalf of God, this is another level now, it's another level. However, when one loves others on behalf of God, or even loves others unconditionally because of one's own life principles, one's suffering is diminished dramatically. The attuned hip-hopper expresses love because such a principle is the essence of life itself, not because an individual deserves it. Love is to be lived, not given. This is a very important line. This last part, I'm going to hit you with it one more time. Make sure you get it. Love, okay? The attuned hip-hopper expresses love because such a principle is the essence of life itself. Not because anybody deserves it. Not because an individual deserves love or it. Love is to be lived, not given. There is no love at first sight. There is only lust at first sight. Love comes with a knowing that is acquired over time. Love is committed. Love is not sex. The term making love is misleading. Sex, no matter how gratifying, is not love. To love someone is to seriously know and care for the essence of that person. It is an acquired familiarity with the essence of a person. Love is a oneness in being. Like hip-hop and rap, love and sex are two different things. Sex may be part of loving relationships, but love is not necessarily part of sexual relationships. Sex can be part of love, but love is not part of sex. Love comes with trust. Lust does not. And sex is mostly an act of pleasure or reproduction, which in and of itself is good and right. However, the need for love is a thirst of the spirit. The need for sex is a thirst of the flesh. The decision between love and lust is made in the mind. When people are in love, it means that they have decided to create a bond in being. When people are in lust, it means that they have decided to pleasure one another through a variety of physical bonds and stimulations or stimulants. Again, lust is a thirst of the flesh, while love is a thirst of the spirit. Neither is above or below the other. Nevertheless, the Temple of Hip Hop teaches that lust is natural. For without lust, there would be very little physical attraction. Lust can also be calming, relaxing, and rejuvenating. You don't hear that much, right? However, lust is a craving that must be overcome, or else it will trap you. It will strip you of your freedom, your good health, and your peace of mind. Use lust. Do not allow it to use you. Let's now go to page 168. 168 in the Gospel of Hip Hop. Let's go to page 168. Now, what I just talked about is some of a description of love itself as an essence of one's being. Here now is love as a character. Perform love. Excuse me. Show your love. Be compassionate. Be compassionate and giving and caring. Be compassionate and caring. Give others the devotion. See, there's that word again. We talked about devotion, and those that attended the masterclass, the hip-hop cultural specialist masterclass, you notice we went over that word devotion as it relates to being a specialist. Give others the devotion that you expect from God. For our God is divine love, and this love is not blind. It is lust that is blind. Love is unconditional. It makes itself available to all. Actually, it makes itself available to the loved. Love is patient. Love suffers long. Love is kind. Love proves and empowers one's ability to teach and guide others. Allow God to manifest through you toward others. It is from God that your love comes, and it is from here that we correctly express our love. When you express God's love, you are expressing love correctly. The unconditional love. Because remember, it's not that anybody deserves love. It's not that you are obliged to love other people. It's not about that. It's about the fact that love is a principle of life. That's the point. You love because it is a principle of life. It is healthy. It's health. Love all and hate none. But when all hate, love none. To truly love is to unite with them. This is that other part of love. This is not love. This is love as character. Now, what I just said was love as principle. You should be a loving being regardless. But if you're in a room full of haters, you ain't got to express that love. No. Your love is not a pump that's just on all day. You can't stop it. No. That's not what we're talking about. That's immature. Try to understand what's being said here. We're talking about the spirit. We're talking about love. We're talking about principles and things that have to be applied according to life circumstances. So again, don't just read. Be ordained. Feel the culture through the reading. Feel the culture. Love all, hate none. But when all hate, love none. To truly love is to unite with the being of others. And at the beginning of your spiritual understanding, it is important to guard your heart. Guard your heart. For love is healthy and hate is diseased. Love all who deserve your love and hate no one. Love, listen to this. Love all who deserve your love and hate no one. Now, you just heard me say, you don't love because someone deserves it. But there are those who deserve your love. It's not that you have to, because you deserve my love, I'm going to give you my love. I'm going to care for you. I'm going to be compassionate because, say, you're my child. for instance. You deserve my love, you're my child. You're my wife or my spouse. This is, you deserve my love. Yes, there is a place for that. That's the giving of love and all of that. But no, here in a spiritual sense, we're talking about being love. Being a being of love. Be love. And in this particular passage, we're talking about as a being of love, you got to guard your heart. You can't just be stupid out there. I just love everybody. No, you don't live in that, especially if you live in the inner cities. No, that's not a healthy attitude. But at the same time, you don't have to stop loving. You don't have to stop being a being of love because you don't got nobody to give your love to. Nah, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's some other kind of love. That's maybe the love that they explain in the dictionary. Emotional love or attachment and all this type of stuff. No, before you even get to another person, are you compassionate? With nobody around. With nobody around, with no mother, with no kids, with no father, with no spouse, with nobody around, are you still in love? That's the key question, or at least the key spiritual question. Because most people only feel love when they are in a relationship or in some sort of companionship. Now you feel the love. We're talking something deeper than that. And we're saying even deeper, if there was nobody around, can you still feel love? Because if you could still feel love with nobody around, you could never be lonely. And get this, God is love. So again, if God is in your life, you can't feel like you alone. You're loved. But if you don't believe that you are loved, that causes the loneliness. And look at it. I could be crazy making this whole thing up. So what? I'm not lonely anymore. I made up something in my own mind. You could spend $3,500 and sit on a couch to get this one, okay? To have somebody unlock your own mind for you. $1,500 sessions. To have somebody called a psychiatrist unlock, or psychoanalyst, unlock what I'm telling you right now. What I'm telling you right now. Can you love when nobody else is around? Do you feel like a defender of love? Do you feed animals? Do you feed pigeons? Do you feel nobody else, no humans are around, but there's always something to care for, starting with yourself. Nobody else around, no animals, no humans, no nothing. What do you care for? Love yourself. Care for yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. Understand yourself. Be merciful to yourself. To truly love is to unite with the being of others. And at the beginning of your spiritual understanding, it is important to guard your heart. For love is healthy and hate is diseased. Love all who deserve your love and hate no one. For in love you are truly protected and empowered. The attuned hip-hopper knows that love is the headliner in every arena of life, and that it is God's performance that is sure to follow the hip-hopper's opening act of true love. Be the love to others. Be the love to those that truly deserve it. And look at that again, and I want you to see the distinction. Nobody deserves your love, really. But there are some that do. So those that really deserve your love them. See the holiness in the people. See the holiness in those people, even when they cannot see it in themselves. Their divinity is the truth of their being. Therefore, let us practice speaking only to the divine nature of people, such as their true essence. But do not live in denial of those who do not truly love you. Even when you are cursed out and or disrespected, remain calm and centered, knowing that such responses are not the truth of anyone's being. Such responses are indeed temporary. This is why the immature always regret what they say and do, and often wind up apologizing for it. Wait for the apology, because those who return to their right mind and seek your pardon for their immaturity deserve your love and understanding. If you remain calm in the midst of such temporary fits of rage, ignorance, immaturity, sadness, eventually you will see those angered, ignorant, immature, depressed people return to their true state of peace, awareness, to their true state of peace, awareness, and normalcy. And if they truly respect you, even love you, they will apologize for not only their own well-being, but for yours. Anger and sadness are not normal for any human being. Therefore, such states are always temporary. Joy is normal. Peace is normal. Love is normal. The opposite of these is abnormal. The opposite of peace and love and unity is abnormal. At all times, perform with love. Search your heart for the people you love most and love them. Look at the people you love and say with your inner voice, I love you. I mean, how often do you do that? Look at the people your family members or friend, and just say inside, I love you. Despite the emphasis others may place upon doing things strictly for payment, in whatever you do, perform it with love. If you hate or dislike what you do, stop doing it. If you dislike or hate what you do, even if you are paid for it, ultimately the result of your compensation will not be fulfilling. In fact, it will only depress you. Therefore, do what you love to do. And do not be afraid to do whatever it is that you love to do. Find time for it. Although forgotten, hip-hop was created out of love. Early hip-hoppers performed their elements out of love. With or without payment, early hip-hoppers loved hip-hop. That's real. With all tasks and people, show love. This is our read today. With all tasks and people, show love. Be compassionate. Be of a caring spirit. These things strengthen you first. Before you give to anybody else, love yourself. Strengthen yourself. Empower yourself that you may be able to strengthen and empower and protect others. This, of course, is the Temple of Hip Hop. I'm out of here. KRS-One. I got more shows to do because I love it. I got more people to teach because I love them. And I got to get my own act together because I love myself. But I say that to say that I'm here in California. Shout out to everybody that's here as well. And big up to the Temple of Hip Hop. Everybody back there. Desire, shout out to you. Son One, big up to you. Shout out to Corinne, Donnell in Recreation, as well. Miss Raspberry there as well. Everybody at City Hall, MIDI, both MIDIs, MIDI at NSA with Mook and Shy and others, as well as Amiri Baraka Jr. and Mayor Ras Baraka and others. The names are just too much to mention in that sense, but my love goes out to all of you. in that sense. And so we're out of here. This is the Temple of Hip Hop. Thank you, y'all. Every Sunday we do this. Every Sunday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, it gets down just like this. So I thank you. I'll see you next week.